Forgiveness is easier said than done, especially in today's society where revenge is promoted so heavily. Everything from revenge bodies or, having even, I've heard revenge businesses, be so successful that's like your revenge. And all these different things about just getting revenge and just plotting and just trying to make the other person that like did wrong to you feel bad. Like you're trying to get success, you're so focused on success for that exact purpose of just getting back at them rather than, seeking your own success just to give value to others, to help others. And that is such a limitation. That is such a limitation within your mind, with your actions that you do. Every single thing you do becomes tied to that person. Do you really want to live a life where every single thing you do is tied to someone who hurt you, tied to someone who wronged you? You want to live a life like that? Every single thing, your success tied to the person that did you wrong. The things you do behind closed doors tied to the person you did. Like even your own thoughts. Did you ever realize that? Like they're literally holding you captive within your own mind. They're living rent free in your head because you choose not to forgive. You need to choose forgiveness is literally the higher route. I can tell you any person that is truly successful with freedom, because there are lots of people out there that, they have all these big businesses. It seems like they have all their life together, but they don't have freedom within their heart and within their mind. But the people that are successful and have freedom within their heart and their mind, which I consider true success, those people chose to forgive, even the people that did them wrong, the people that might have done some of the most horrible things. And I'm not saying that, forgiveness is something easy, because it surely isn't, especially when, I know a lot of people have done very wrong things, and you might be saying, Christian, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know what they've done to me. Like, you don't know what type of, a lot of people have done me wrong. But the thing is I'm not saying it's going to happen, just in one moment, one instant, everything just magically disappears. No, forgiveness is something that takes progression. It is something that takes time, especially, for cases where it might be more severe what the person's actions were against you. But the thing is, you have to be moving in forgiveness. You have to walk in forgiveness. Forgiveness is a walk. Like you can't, like it doesn't mean like, it's taking me time. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to forgive them. But then realistically, you're like, nah, I'm not forgiving them inside my heart. And you're just giving excuses to take more time to release it and let it go. You're just deciding to hold a grudge. No, if it's truly something that takes time, you're taking action every single day. It's little by little. You're literally breaking down. Like some people, you might need therapy. You might need to start journaling inside your notebook. That's one thing I started doing. Journaling truly helped me release all of it. Others, like I would suggest that like you might need a small period of isolation. That's something that I always talk about, many videos on my channel. And a small period of isolation, even just a day, or some people it's like a week. And it doesn't mean complete isolation from people, but most of the day you need to be more in an isolated state, more in a state where you're not listening to a bunch of outside influences, and you really get to go to the root of all the problems deep within your heart and within your mind. Those are the things that you might need to do to be able to finally forgive that person, finally forgive those people, whether it be your own family members, your friends, co-workers, loved ones, teachers, other students within your class. Like maybe that childhood bully that you had when you were in the 3rd grade that, might have made fun of you for like your shoes or something, or what you're wearing. Or maybe it was that girl that rejected you when you were 7th grade that you still never quite got over. It might be that's still unforgiveness because you're still holding it inside of you. Those are things that you're holding within your heart. Stop holding grudges. Those are chains that you're literally attaching to yourselves. Here's what you're doing. You're getting the chain and clipping it. You're just clipping it onto yourself and saying, I choose to let myself be limited. I choose to let myself have limitations. I choose to walk with these burdens. That's what unforgiveness is. It's an active choice. You have to choose to walk in unforgiveness. And I know it's not something that just happens in the snap of your fingers where, just magically forgive, like in the movies where like the villain will like, end the whole entire person's family and friends. And then you know what? I forgive you for everything. And, we're all best friends now. No, forgiveness doesn't mean you just necessarily become all best friends and cuddly with them after. But it means letting them go, releasing that from the heart, saying, you know what, I'm going to take the high road. You might have done me wrong, but I realize that maybe there's something in your own life. Or even if there wasn't, I choose to let it go. I forgive you. I release it. I release it from my heart. Forgiveness is a choice. You have to walk in that choice. And I'm telling you, the freedom that you get, the freedom that you get within your mind, the freedom that you get within your heart is so it's unimaginable. When you walk around with unforgiveness and then you get forgiveness, it's like a whole entire just a whole entire wall of bricks is lifted off your shoulders. And I'm telling you right now, forgiveness will literally solve so many different things in your life. Some of the things that you think are you're like, what is holding me back? Like, what is this mental block? What is this block? Or even you're trying to enter into a new relationship and you just can't seem to click with people because you haven't forgiven your ex, because, you might have broken up with your ex and your ex might have done you wrong. And you're like, oh, she did me wrong. And all these different things. And, you're trying to work out in the gym. You're like, oh. Yeah, that's your motivation. But I'm not saying don't use, bad things as motivation. But I'm saying the fact that because you're carrying unforgiveness still and you're holding it back, you can't go into another relationship with your heart open again because you're choosing not to forgive. You have to choose to forgive. It is not something that magically happens. It is an active choice. I'm telling you right now, it is an active choice. And if you choose to do it early on, it's better. The longer you take to forgive, it's like rust building on those chains. Imagine you have chains and then you just have this icky rust, it's raining and dirt and all this, and then just rust gets on it. And you know how sometimes really old weights or old lifting plates, if you're into lifting and working out, those old lifting plates and stuff, and they'll be even heavier than the newer ones, even though it says the same weight, because it has all that rust. It has all this this filth and yuck on it that builds up over time, and it just makes the chain even heavier. That is what you're doing. The longer you wait, you're allowing rust to form onto that. Rust to form on those chains of unforgiveness. You have to realize that you have to forgive. Forgive your family, friends, loved ones. You have to learn to forgive yourself. There are things, and I'm guilty of this too. This is something that I had struggled with for years. I would go and have these moments where I remember a mistake that I made years and years ago. The enemy will bring in thoughts. He'll be like, oh, remember that time when you did this? Remember that time when you said the wrong thing or you made that person feel bad by accident and you weren't or remember that time when you lashed out and you're always calm. Well, remember that one time that you snapped. And it's it brings back all these past memories, and you have to learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. That is so important. That is another important thing. I feel like that's something we neglect, especially as young men. We forget to forgive our own selves. You forgive everyone else, but then you forget to forgive yourself. There are mistakes you made, but you have to move on. There are things that you might have done wrong, and of course, we're as humans. We're not Jesus. Jesus is the only person who's ever been perfect. And that's how it's going to be. You're going to make mistakes in life. But it's choosing to move on and forgive yourself. That's what you have. The same forgiveness he has for you is the same forgiveness you have to have for yourself and for other people around you. Literally, I'm telling you that when you really get into that, and I'm telling even people that aren't Christians and aren't believers, really, take the time to listen to perspectives of the Bible about forgiveness and how Jesus literally talks about forgiving others, even the person that's wronged you over 70. What is the number? It's around 77 times 7 times this other thing. So it's per day, which is almost it's almost how can anyone do that many wrong things to you in one day? So it's basically forgive a person just forever. You have to learn to forgive, and I'm telling you, it releases you. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's truly about you and releasing that baggage, releasing those chains, breaking them off from your life. It gives you freedom. It gives you new perspectives. It opens up your mind. It breaks down barriers. It prevents you from being held back from the purpose that you're supposed to complete. Like, what if I told you that this whole entire time you could have reached your purpose? You could have achieved those goals you wanted. You could have got that new relationship. You could have walked into that new business opportunity, that new job. You could have partnered with new people. You could have made new friends. But because you chose to not forgive others, you're being held back. Those things can't come into fruition if you're going to decide to hold on to the old things. Imagine you're holding on to something old and you want to have something new, but it's like, how can you, like, you can't, you literally can't, because your hand is so closed. Your fist is closed around this old thing. But if you decide to release it, forgiving, then your hand is now open to where you can take whatever God has to give you, whatever that new opportunity is, whatever that new blessing is, or that new relationship, even that new mentorship. Like, even if there are people that were, people you looked up to and they did you wrong or something happened and you're choosing not to forgive them. But God is like, I can give you someone new to look up to, a new mentor, a new person to, like, that'll teach you and look after you. But you don't want to choose to release that old person. So you're stopping yourself from getting something new and even better. That is the power. That's why you truly look within your heart. Look deep within your heart. Take time, spend time in isolation and really, really look deep within your heart. Look, what are the things within there? Because there are often things that you won't even notice. It's small little things. Small little things can be within there and you won't even notice. You won't even notice until it blows up to something way bigger. So look within your heart and really look for all those things that are unforgiveness. That's the message. Forgive. Forgive and get freedom. With forgiveness, there is true freedom. And you have freedom for many years to come. That's the video. So if you want to watch another video, YouTube is recommending this video right here. It's an absolute banger. That's what YouTube says. So you should definitely go and watch it. Bye.